Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are
I'm
you?
doing well. I just love that you're doing this. I think it's so great. I've only looked at pieces of the ones you've sent, but I thought it's so Lee. I was talking to a couple of people that know you who said, he's always just got something going on. He's got a way of thinking about it, and you get things done. Thank God for a contractor, right? That has to be a quality.
People said, "What'd you do the first couple weeks?" I said, "Nothing." I said,
Yeah.
I said I was in an emotional coma, and I made absolutely no apologies for it. In week 3, I started playing ping pong in the basement.
That's good.
I felt like that was an accomplishment. And then I was like, well, why not do something fun? And then it's crazy.
It's really fun. It's very
crazy.
great that you're doing it. I mean, I love it.
Thank you.
And do you see Jennifer's on with us now?
I know. You look terrific. How's the baby?
Oh, she's 4 now. She just turned 4. So crazy. I have them locked upstairs in a bedroom. I was like, don't come down. Don't jump on the floor. Be quiet.
How long is that going to last?
We shall see.
How are they doing in isolation?
We're at my parents' beach house on the Jersey Shore. So there's room and they can go outside. The distance learning's killing me, but they don't seem to mind it too much. They're doing great. They're survivors. Little ones don't really get it.
It's markedly different than the city. Markedly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can walk down the street, take a bike ride. We just played a little ball outside. I mean,
exactly
there's something. And if you don't have that, that's where I start to worry about it.
I know.
Yeah. But I have to say because we're wrapping up some deals that were done, before all this happened. And there's a couple of brokers, it's their business to say they love it, but they've been in the business as long as I have, which is a really long time. And
Rookies.
they're just, they have places out in the Hamptons or Long Island. And they're like, what are you kidding? I'm a New Yorker. I want to be in my New York place. And I thought, wow, that's just, to me, I need to be outside,
Yeah. Well, I mean, being here and walking down the street and, I was in the backyard last week around 9 o'clock with the dogs walking around and I was raking the lawn.
I'm big for doing the yard work.
Right,
Jennifer knows.
Right, I was raking the lawn. The garden hasn't shown up. Yeah. And Kaya said to me, what are you doing? And I said, I'm raking the lawn. And she goes, why? And I just said, because it's my lawn.
Yeah.
I feel
it's like, why are you climbing a mountain?
Yeah, no, I feel like so blessed to have this house.
Yeah,
so I can't, so I don't look at the grout that needs retouching or this. It's just, I'm happy.
Oh, call your contractor.
Yeah.
You know how to get that done.
He's a pain in the ass. My God. So I don't care. I will say last night at 6 a.m., one of the skylights started to leak.
Oh.
And so if you can imagine you can imagine waking up in a dead stupor and hearing water running.
No.
And going, what the hell's going on? And now I've got to climb over the dogs and I'm listening for the noise. I thought the dishwasher blew and I look up and I go, it's a skylight. So listen, such a high rent problem. I could care less.
How long have you had the house there?
Will be my 16th summer.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I got this house in 2004, did some work in 2005, and I have a white Carrera marble countertop with lots of etchings and rings. And I look at it and I go, those are all the parties and the good times and the cooking, and I could care less.
Yeah. No, it's great. That those marble counters are sort of like denim blue jeans. They look even better after they're really worn in.
Unless you've got a
bit of wearing instead. Yeah.
Right. Unless you've got a Park Avenue apartment you want to put on the market. I'm like, embrace the rings, embrace the etching. And I've become a pro at sucking stains out of the marble. So
really?
Yeah. So
you're gonna have to teach me how to do that.
I'm gonna do a video tomorrow or over the weekend about getting the stains out of the marble. And I gotta tell you something, it works.
I need to know, because in my tiny kitchen in the city, and one of the reasons I love being here is my apartment in New York is minuscule. I mean, it's really minuscule, just because I only use it for work and sleep, Sure. And to me, I love my hands in the dirt, so I'm out here. Although sometimes one thinks of, getting a bigger place, but I have marble in this my kitchen's the size of one on a sailboat, but it has green marble on it that I put in, and I must have put a lemon down on it early on or something. It's a mess.
Is it honed or polished?
Polished.
Ah.
Yeah, I think that I'm not going to do that again.
No, don't do it. All you did was etch the polish. But when we get back to New York, I'll give you the guy. He'll come in, he polishes it out, and it's fine.
Fantastic.
Oh, nice.
But this is good. This is the red wine. You left it in. You went to bed. You wake up the next morning, and there's a ring, and I can get it out.
You can get it out?
I know. It's like, but these are the things I think out here, you feel like so fulfilled. I fixed a toilet paper holder ring that was loose, and I was like, that was incredibly.
I fixed the toilet this afternoon.
I built a house, so.
That's right, you did.
I did build a house, a toy house, but I built one.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It was her 4-year-old's birthday. It's very cute. We're going to figure some way to put it on Instagram, is that, this is really getting deep into real estate. If we don't have, them to sell, we'll just build one. It's adorable though.
That's great.
You'd be proud, Lee.
Have you been out there for the better part of like a month and change?
I think it's 5 weeks now. 6. Yeah.
Today's 6.
Yeah, maybe it is 6.
For us, it melds. It melts.
Yeah, we left on the 13th was our last appointment together.
Right.
That little exclusive, which is so cool. But then I left, I think, the next day, and you stayed through the weekend.
Another week, and then I left. Yeah.
Crazy. Just crazy.
Yeah.
So the Leighton Candler team.
Yeah.
You guys are the team, right?
Yes. Oh, and I have to tell you, we usually have, and we try now, Jennifer and Liz and I, every morning, it's about 45 minutes, and we all, if weather permitting, try and take a walk or something and go over our strategies and what are we going to do and what do we need to send out and everything, which is great because it keeps us a little structured on business. And then but we tried for once a week, but now it's really Jennifer, every other week we have. Yeah, it depends. Yeah, but because in the city we have Tequila Tuesday for our team, and that it sometimes only ends up once a month or something, depending on how much, because we're all somewhere else, and everybody needs to get together and say what are the new listings that they saw or that they have or something. So we're having our Zoom. We just Tuesday there were 2 of us who were Jennifer and I had client calls that ran late, so we moved it to Thursday. But that's tonight, so you just got a Zoom invitation, Lee, as our guest.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
Tequila?
Anything, but yeah. Tequila's preferred, but anything works.
My favorite. One of the first ones we did was I was talking to Kathy Franklin, and I was like, do you want to do this? She says, yes. And we're having a Hill Rock thing that night. I'm like, that's great. Everybody's drinking and having a good time.
I tell you what, if there was Hill Rock around, I might have that too.
I think there's 2 kinds of people. Some people aren't embracing this, and the ones that are, I think, are getting through it a little bit better.
You have to.
When was the last time you had a 6-week break?
I
Right.
don't know. I've worked since I was 12 years old, honestly.
Right.
So I don't even know. I obviously sometime in high school, but college, I worked every summer and all through college.
Camp Kiwani, 1977. That's what I said to somebody. I flip burgers in a McDonald's on Kings Highway in Brooklyn on Tuesdays and Saturdays when I was 14 because I stole the working papers to make myself 15. That was the last break.
Yeah.
Right? It's crazy. What was that? Uh-oh.
Huh. The landscapers have decided to come and work with machinery.
Mine came yesterday. Out of the blue. Masks. The whole thing. I was so happy to see them. I couldn't rake all of it. I just raked a little bit of it. But it's the truth. When? And I got the.
It's been such bad weather, yeah.
Yeah, it was so funny when I swear to you, I woke up in the morning yesterday and I'm like, it's gonna be gorgeous. And then you sent that and I was like, I love you because we went out and we did stuff.
I know.
And this weekend.
I know, and I waited so long, I was like, oh.
No, you were great.
Canceling him, I don't know. And then I was like,
no.
Wait a minute, I think maybe he's out here too.
No,
because we have 2 team members that are in Florida. And we just don't allow them to talk about weather.
No.
Because when they start with, oh, it's so hot, we're like, we don't want to hear about that.
But it's a little, so I had a conversation with someone in Miami, and part of it is a little like you're surrounded, there's so many analogies, but you're surrounded by all this great weather, but you really can't do anything. The marinas are closed. The restaurants are closed. The bars are closed. You can ride a bike. The beach is closed. The pool is closed. The tennis courts are closed.
I'm still having a hard
I still
time
don't feel
crying
bad.
for
Yeah,
you,
Lee, yeah. No sympathy here. No.
Prime 112 is doing takeout orders in South Beach for $25 for a steak that he would normally charge $80. That to me is like, oh my God, I would do that in a second.
Me too. I love that restaurant.
Oh my God,
Love it.
Yeah, that's a go-to. So what do you aside from Thirsty Thursdays or Tequila Tuesdays, what are you watching? Netflix, Amazon, Apple?
Well, Jennifer has a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. So
lots of Disney movies.
Right.
Yeah, lots of Disney movies. But no, what are we watching? I'm catching up on Homeland. We're going to start Jack Ryan. Tried to get into Tiger King or whatever that is, and I just couldn't.
Can't do it.
This is what a virtual hug looks like. I watched 20 minutes of it. I'm like, this is nuts.
No, it's not my thing.
No.
Just can't.
No. Somebody said
I'm not that, it's for TV for me, oddly, and I think I heard part of one with someone, and they were talking about not being able to focus on a book, and you said you can't. See, I'm the opposite. For me, I've been rereading some great favorites of mine, and since I think it's also because I know the characters in it. I mean, Rex Stout wrote in the 1930s, but it's beautiful. I mean, the dialogue is so great, so fabulous. So I've just started rereading this long series, and he was just a brilliant man and wrote these detective novels. And I think that's different because, like, I know Jennifer and I were talking about this early on with just TV things and the first, like, wide open horror of it. I said, I feel like just watching NCIS. I don't even want to watch a movie. I want to watch something where I know the 8 characters, And I thought it's probably to, like, lower the input of more new information,
Sure.
And I think for me, the book's easier also because I read it before I go to bed. And for me, if I get visual input, I'm really visual. And so if I get any visual input, it keeps me up. It's easier for me just to read and not have visuals. And I think that's why I've loved reading. But you have to me, I think it's best. Yeah, here they are. Hold on. I'm going to move us somewhere.
That's okay.
I got that. All right. Can you believe, right? Been asking them to come forever.
Oh, listen.
Yeah, they're laughing. They're like, what time is this? Like 5:30.
We like the mirror.
I go somewhere else. Oh my God, they're there too.
Now the young lady, see, I've got like a triangle here. Jennifer can't read because Jennifer's got kids.
No. Well, I try to at nighttime, but what I'm really trying to do is I made Peyton, my oldest, a needlepoint stocking before her first Christmas, and she was born in September. I have yet to do Riley's after 4 years. So that's my quarantine goal, is to get Riley's stocking made for this Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's my goal. We'll see if it happens.
So, I mean, you guys have this great energy when there isn't a pandemic, and, working with you is really the best. What's keeping you motivated during a pandemic?
Well, I mean, Jennifer has such an adorable family around. Every once in a while, if I feel a tiny bit like, missing things, I tell you, I live by myself. So, to me, initially, it's like it's so much easier than moving a whole family and having to do all that. So I'm really grateful for it.
Sure.
But about now, it's like I miss squeezing those kids because after work, and Jennifer, I always stop at her place on the way home at least, as often as possible, and squeeze the girls. And play whatever that thing is. We bought Switch or something.
Yeah,
with them. And I'm so Southern. I just miss the hugging. When our team sees each other, we're always hugging, it's like, oh, hi, good to see you. I really miss that. But we stay by connecting with everyone all the time, I think that we probably do. And there's always a few things to do. We've never been too big on social media.
Right.
Liz is great about keeping Instagram going and all that. But now I really said, it's a time when we can engage more than we do. Some brokers are fabulous at using it as a medium. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I still go back to 36 years ago or whatever, when, ladies were supposed to never wear trousers to the office, I did. At any rate, I broke that rule. But, you never showed a photograph of a bathroom or a bedroom. That's how long ago I was doing it. We had dimes in our pocket and Rolodexes, no computers on the desk, right?
Right.
And So it's not that I'm slow to embrace. It's just one of our things was discretion and distance and being quiet and not being that well known, you know, and all that sort of thing. And now we've talked about it and thought, you know, this is a great time for us to be able to have people really know us, because it sometimes is surprising when people say, oh, I thought you only did co-ops, or, oh, I thought you, they kind of know differently, but you know, it's a time for people to get to know really who we are, because the people in the office and the brokers know us, because we're constantly laughing and doing, I remember way back, like, remember Teresa Hall, maybe you do? It was I know, she was a great manager at Corcoran when we first went, but we used to have managers come in and go, are you all working? All you're doing is laughing. We can hear you from home. Our team really does. I mean, we laugh all the time, you know, so we're doing a little of that, and that's been fun and interesting. I don't always understand it. Corcoran has been fabulous about the lessons and the things and teaching people, you know, how to do it. Jennifer and I are texting during one of the lessons going, what? I don't understand.
Yeah,
but, no. They're doing a super job. And I have to say, we keep each other motivated by, you know, always touching base and talking. And, you know, between Jennifer and myself and Liz, we reach out all the, you know, well, every day, you know, we talk and do, and, you know, we have new ideas and keep things going. But, you know, a sense of humor, I'm telling you, it's, you know, you can't ever build one if you don't have one. You can't suddenly develop one, but, you know, we're always doing something sort of ridiculous with each other. And oh my God, the text chain that goes on with our team, but that's been going on for years.
Yeah.
But now, oh my gosh, we all share some of the most ridiculous, you know, whatever, the Instagram funny
memes,
thing. Yeah, and stuff like that. But also pictures of, and it's, you know, we all know each other's families, so it's like, oh, send a picture of this or send a picture of that. So in a way, I think probably levity is always something that's really helpful. And I have to say, I went through a time of, I just can't look at the news anymore. You know, it's not helpful. You know, call me when it's over, but not quite. But, you know, you do sort of feel like, yeah, can I turn, like in a book that's a little tedious? Maybe if you're trying Proust, I shouldn't call Proust tedious, but, you know, you're like, can I just skip to the end and see how this ends up? You know, can I just, you know, after about chapter 5, I'm like, can I just skip to the end to make sure everything's okay? And then I'll enjoy the book more.
Right.
Well, maybe that's why you like the NCIS, because you get to an end in an hour. You're like, I need to know what's going to happen here.
Resolution, and I know nobody's probably all the characters are going to be okay.
Right. And the social media, I mean, the reality is it had become a massive time suck. I'm not saying a time waste. It's just an immense suck of time. Yeah. And now, if it didn't exist, how do you?
What would you do?
It'd be a whole different dynamic. My mother lived.
This is going to be
2 blocks from me in the city, and I'm absolutely guilty prior to this of seeing or talking to her once every 3-4 days, and she just turned 80. I talk to her twice a day on a FaceTime call. I make breakfast in the morning. I make dinner at night. What are you cooking? What are you this? What are you that? So, you know. How much of this stays? Some of this is going to, you know, I think some of it stays because it is connective without pulling a muscle.
I hope a lot
without pulling a muscle.
I mean, that's what it is. Clients want to talk. I have a client who wants to discuss. Let's do a call. I said, let's do a Zoom, because then you hold up your picture, you hold up this, that, and I can see in your face if you really like what you're telling me, as opposed to and honestly, so you know, I signed up for the pro. We're not going to get cut off. It'll be fine. Yeah. What's it like to be a mom in a pandemic, Jen?
Crazy, stressful, but at the same time, you know, we're all just getting through it. Everyone's adjusting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, when you have the most perfect children ever.
Yeah, I'm surprised the ceiling hasn't come down yet. They're jumping so hard above me. No, but I mean, I have 10 probably alarms set on my phone for their Zoom classes. So it's really making myself accountable as a mom, as, you know, a team member. But like everybody else, you just have to sort of go with the flow, and you can't stress out about the little things. If she misses a class or you miss an email, you know what? It'll still be there in an hour, or you can catch up on the work tonight or tomorrow with a teacher. You know, you just have to take it as it goes. What are you going to do? We're all in the same situation.
That's exactly right. And everybody's doing the best they can. And you know, just check the box and wait till tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have to say, one of the things is that's a good thing. And I'm trying to exercise it always, even before this, but I think it's so super critical. It's what Jennifer's saying too. It's about stopping to, because I'm very self-critical, always, I'm not doing well enough. I'm not trying hard enough. I'm not getting back enough. I'm not doing this. I'm not. And, I had to stop doing that. I was like, no, this is because there's so much that this isolation that we've had is going to change. And I mean, as you talk about keeping up with people that are so close, but one of those things, I think certainly we're not going to be as wasteful of hopefully a lot of things like your toilet paper and paper towels, but also like not as this profligate waste that we've done, not only with our resources, but our time, which is the biggest resource we have.
Time.
The meetings where, you have to be here. You must, and someone's like, you have to be here. I need you. And, it's 45 minutes to get to the meeting. It's a 10-minute meeting. It's 45 minutes to get back. But very important, that took away so much time. And I mean, Jennifer, like with your family, it's, spending this much time with them has been such a joy.
It's a blessing. I mean, it is a blessing. It'll never happen again, hopefully.
Is it the best part of isolation?
It is, by far the best part.
And isn't it crazy I want to see if you agree with this, you're going to miss an element of this.
Oh, I'm totally going to miss it. I was sitting with my little one yesterday, I don't know, at 4:00, and she was actually having a really good afternoon because she took a good nap and we were playing Legos and she wanted to play with these little paper cars. And I just hugged her and I said, honey, I think I've spent more time with you in the last month than I have in a year. And it's true. I mean, we're together 24 hours a day and it's a blessing.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to re-entry slowly, but it really is a blessing. It is.
And the summer, as it ramps back, it's going to ramp back slow. It's not going to, I don't think it's going to ramp back from 0 to 100, but
I don't either.
Yeah.
Even come September, I don't think it is.
No. So important questions before we get heavy in the business, because, these are the ones that I was writing. Oreos. Original, double stuff, or mega stuff?
Original and smushed into the vanilla ice cream. Totally. Love that.
Jen?
I'm not an Oreos person. My husband loves them and he prefers the thins. They're new thin ones.
Thins are good.
Yeah.
If you wrap the thins in fudge, they're really good.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I told Jillian I'm totally disowning her. She makes this thing where she takes cookie dough, puts on top of the cookie dough Oreos, and puts on top of the Oreos cookie dough, and then bakes it.
Oh,
and I have to tell you something.
I would actually eat that.
It is mind-bending, and I said, I swear to God, I will disown you if you keep making it. Made it last night. It's horribly amazing. Horribly amazing.
Oh God, now I'm gonna have a craving.
I know. It's just, and you got to keep moving or else the pounds. Are you Walmarting? Are you Targeting? Or are you Amazoning?
Amazon.
Target. I discovered the Target here, and I love it. I love it.
Stuff.
It opened a whole new world.
Target's got a lot of good stuff. Have sweatbands become old, or are you kind of loving this?
Well, I have not. I laugh with people. I'm like, I have not worn something with a structure. I've had elastic or drawstring on for the full time. I don't know the last time I didn't have an elastic waist.
I love her.
It's ridiculous. I'm not going to go on shop. I have no idea if I can fit in my work clothes anymore. I hope so.
There's got to be a company coming out of this who's going to make really, really great.
We should buy Lululemon stuff.
Totally.
Sure.
Totally. Their stock's going to go through the roof.
Totally.
And you, Jen?
I never used to be a sweatpant person, more yoga pants, but my brother-in-law helped start Aviator Nation, so now I'm obsessed.
Cool.
I have like 5 pairs that I just keep rotating, and it's amazing.
Your brother or your brother-in-law?
One of my brother-in-laws. Yeah, was there at the startup of it.
He's a genius.
Yeah.
We need to know if we get a family discount, Jennifer.
Genius.
I can try. I know some people do, but I can try.
They have a pop-up in Miami. They have a place we went to in Venice. The kids are totally addicted to it. And
it's amazing.
It's amazing, but there's one part that you can legitimize a little bit. It's really comfortable.
And they wash well.
Yeah.
I was afraid to wash it the first time. Now I wash them every day. They just keep soft, and they just get softer as you wash them.
When I get done with this and I tell my kid that I know somebody who's a big wig at Aviator Nation, she's going to think the sky just opened up and the birds are singing. Are there any new hobbies? Are there any old hobbies?
Besides building a house.
That's a good one.
I mean, really, Lee, we're talking to one person who should be impressed.
I'm totally impressed.
I had thought that I would say when I majored in photography at Parsons School of Design, which few people know, but and so I had my camera out and ready, and I thought, I'm really going to move back into it because it used to be my complete passion. But the weather's made it almost impossible. So, I did get paints out and stuff, but then I ended up doing so many projects because Jennifer and everyone was laughing because they had sort of a day by day of me painting that incredible fine European paints, that great brand, which is very hard to paint with, but I did my library and in this wonderful deep blue and stuff. And so it's really high gloss. So that was like interesting. I still have some blue on me actually, but because I'm not the neatest painter, but that was sort of marvelous. I found I ended up early on, you said you had 2 weeks of just being sort of shot at deer in headlights kind of thing. Yeah. And I think that was true for the first few days for me, but then I did the opposite, sort of jumped into doing a project. And if I get my hands around a project, it's great. And of course I was doing my continuing ed. That was one of the things we had on our list in the first week was okay, what are the things that always fall to the bottom of the list? And Jennifer's and Liz are super organized and things. I guess I am, but I'm too self-critical to know. But there's always this stuff that's at the bottom of the list. And when you're working the way we work, something else always takes over, always goes to the top. It's like, or a client needs something right then, right that moment. And, there's no thing of, okay, well, let's think about it. There's no rush to it.
Sure.
And so getting a lot of that off the bottom of the list is probably really helpful, I suppose. But anyway, I don't have any new hobbies. I just have the old ones. And project oriented.
What's the best thing you've eaten in isolation?
I did my own chicken pot pie. I haven't ordered in anything. I did make a good salmon, but that's such a pain to do because my black iron skillets smell for ages. I have to leave them outside. But I made my own chicken pot pie because as much as I adore Cinderella, it's one thing I don't like that they do because I like really shredded chicken and stuff. So I roasted all the vegetables and I didn't want all that bechamel sauce in it. And I thought, I'm just going to do it. And I had those cheddar biscuits from Callie Mae's in Charleston that I had too many. And so I had cheddar biscuits on the top and then shredded chicken and everything. That was, I must say, that was quite good. I was very impressed. And I did not use a lot of fat. I had my own chicken stock that I put in it, and stuff. It was really good.
That's what you want to put on social media later.
Yeah, and exactly.
That's it. I'm, you're probably an understated, an incredible rock star team, but that's what goes on social media.
See, I didn't know. And of course, I told them about it a couple of days later, and Liz was like, did you take a picture? I was like, no, I didn't take a picture. It was beautiful, though, but I didn't take a picture.
I made a brisket, and if you could put an iPhone in a Wolf oven, I would have done a time-lapse photography on a brisket. I mean, come on. This is the first brisket this Jew ever did, and now that's it. I'm making briskets and short ribs.
Well, let's all get invited.
Yeah, please. And I'm getting into it. It's really good. Jen, what's the best thing you've eaten?
Well, we've all eaten a lot of seafood, which is nice being at the beach, but I have to say, I've just been recreating my favorite restaurant food. Like I made a Nobu salad over the weekend. Ooh. I made blue smoked deviled eggs that were delicious. So just trying to recreate food that I miss from the city is really what I'm trying to do.
What's your favorite pizza topping?
For me, it's, it's with basil. Yeah. I mean, it's the margarita.
Yeah.
With extra basil.
Yeah. No basil for me, but plain cheese.
But that's why we always split it in Serafina because all of the basil goes on my side. And
Serafina's real. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They totally know what they're doing. What did you want to be when you were a kid?
A writer.
A vet. Yeah. But I loved animals too much. I was like, I could never operate on them.
You couldn't take it. No. Yeah. That's,
what did you want to be when you were a kid?
I wanted to work in a gas station. I wanted to work with cars. My mother was like, no. And I'm like, no, it'll be great. I'll pump gas and I'll work on cars. And then I was going to go to law school and it all, kind of did its own thing. And,
Did you go to law school?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I wanted to work. I was flipping burgers for when I was a kid, and I wanted to work, and I ended up, my stepfather at the time said, "You're going if you decide to go. If you decide not to go, come and try this for a couple of months." And I'm like, "I love you and I appreciate it, but," and he was a big guy, really, big guy. I said, "And don't take this the wrong way, and I love you, but, how much money could you possibly make doing this?"
Doing which thing? What did he do?
Right. He had a countertop and cabinet shop. Little.
Really?
Right. And he looked at me straight in the face and he said, "Well, last year I made $200,000. And at the time, it was only one person I knew who made $200,000. It was the president of the United States. And I said, "I'm going to come hang out with you for a little while. Let's see what it's all about." And the rest, it just kind of started going. But
well, you're a really good, but you have a very good business head. I think I always have. I think everybody thinks so.
Thanks.
And you love the creativity of business. I think thinking of a new idea, a new way to approach it, and you do it with such. And I mean, it's something that I hope is true with us too. Is that it's with a sincerity, because ours we sort of do what we do because we love what we do. It's not with this huge end in mind. It's like, okay, can it support us? Yes. But, we never really know how we did till the end of the year. We kind of do it because it's part of our life, and the doing of it and doing it well is like fun. And
you also don't feel like it's work. You're too good at it.
No, we really kind of don't.
Yeah.
And we know that it's really trouble if all of a sudden we do have, and it's rare, a client that we're like, this is starting to feel like work.
we got the wrong client.
Yeah, right.
We got the wrong property.
You approach everything with such the fact that you just love it. I think it's what makes you good at it.
You don't even realize it. It's just.
But if you love people, the businesses we're in are fun, and you love people. I love people.
Yeah, I do, and I think that missing that connection is the number one thing. That's. Yeah, it's just you want to be around nice people.
Yeah,
especially coming out of this, people who aren't going to suck it out of you, so to speak. They're not going to just take the marrow from the bone.
We've talked about that numerous times, I think.
Absolutely. You know what? And there's a balance. Bigger isn't always better, and you really just want to be in business with people and clients that you really like, because when you are, there's nothing I won't do for somebody.
Exactly.
I
think it's going to sharpen a lot of our values. I think we've had a lot more time to reevaluate what really matters to us,
Sure.
Even, we talked about it with family, we talk about it with not having these pointless meetings, and you're talking about it with like, oh yeah, is this really the way I want to spend my life? And I'm sure part of it could be the fact that there's a deadly disease there. And I don't know about you, but everyone I've talked to, had those moments of anxiety at 3 a.m, especially but we may still have them too. But, that always brings up your mortality and how are you spending your time. But this has been a time, everybody I've talked to has said, I've really stopped to appreciate some stuff. And just like the list we had in the office that we never get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
It's like now we do get to the bottom. You really get to the stuff that you always mean to do,
Sure.
And that you always mean to sort of focus on and think about. And, you do realize you're going to have to, stop being profligate with your time, not just our resources. And the happiest result of this is this planet is so much better off for everybody just stopping the abuse of the planet that's going on, I think,
Big time.
Yeah.
And now the thought of going back to that,
I don't know. Do you think we really will?
I hope not. I really hope not. I buy a Tesla tomorrow morning just to be part of the solution and not the problem. I have to say, and it's funny because, being in Ubers in the city and being concerned about who you're with and this and that and the other, I went out and bought an electric bike 2 months ago, sitting in the garage.
Did you?
Yeah.
And it's going to be my new Uber. Somebody I know, said, "I'm going to get a scooter." I go, no, get a bike. Don't get a bike. Sit on something. There's no amount of cab fare you're going to save that's going to pick up the hospital bills if you fall off a scooter. But a bike.
True.
A bike. A bike's real. So, I think you got to be part of the solution at this point.
Yeah,
for sure.
We got the PPL money. And we were like, what are we going to do with it? We can't go to work. Co-ops aren't open. So we're going to give it back. Because what are you doing? If you're not part of the solution, we're all going down.
Yeah. It's absolutely true. Yeah. And the sense of entitlement, I think, may change after this. One can only hope because, it strikes everybody. you know, and
Everyone.
you walking around without a mask and saying, oh, I'm going to, and early on, I remember when I went to the grocery store here, and, you know, there are different personalities and this was a personality. I think I was talking with Jennifer and Elizabeth. It's like, this is a personality that they get when we were first told social distancing. Their idea of social distancing was, I'm going to go right where I want to go, and everyone needs to stay 7 feet apart from me. You know, even if I was standing there, it's like they'll move close to me so that I have to move. But
Sure.
that has changed. You know, I think everybody's a little more conscious of each other and not just all for me, all for me. And,
Sure.
you know, there's always, after 9/11, everything, there's that a bit of a lifeboat mentality, which unfortunately always comes in a really dangerous crisis. But there is a good from it. People do get closer. And isn't it odd that despite the fact that the biggest issue of this is social distancing, that you were saying, Lee, and we're saying, we're now actually finding out more personal things about people and are sharing our own selves more with other people, which is, who knew that was going to happen with social distancing? You wouldn't have ever thought it.
No, who knew any of this is going to happen? I had a Zoom phone call with a client, their designer, decorator, and 11 people involved in the project while I was sitting in a supermarket parking lot yesterday. And we stayed for 45 minutes and we went over the project. But what I did was I got everybody on the call.
Yeah.
And I got off the call and I said, that's a week. That's a
So
week of email.
great. That's
Who sent an
fantastic.
email? Who didn't do this? Who did that? And I said, and everybody's on. One guy doesn't want to get on the call. So I called him after and I said, I'll let you fly once, but not again, because we're all able to get it all done. And then I'm not tracking emails at 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And how great is that? So I think this element of connectivity, it doesn't get easier than this, and it's going to be fantastic.
Well, who knew? I mean, it's that paradox that's come out of this. One of them is we have so much more time on our hands, but we're finding how to use it more efficiently.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Absolutely.
You would think it'd be the opposite. You have more time, you would waste more.
And
but weirdly, people are finding ways that they can find they're much more efficient about it, you know, and are spending the rest of the time doing things that really add to themselves, you know, that are very positive or uplifting, or I find many people I know are, you know.
You're finding this, I'm finding exactly the same thing. I'm going to hit you with a couple of fun questions and then we'll get to the business. You ready?
Sure.
Yep.
French fries or onion rings?
French fries.
Both.
There's a reason why you lead the team, Leighton.
Can I say?
There's a reason why you're Riley's favorite.
That's right.
All right. So last couple of fun questions. Pickles, yes or you don't get it?
Obsessed.
Look, I would like them more if Jennifer didn't always steal them off my plate.
Got it. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
I've had both, but
yeah.
I'm probably going back to getting a pug again. Yes.
Yay.
You know, my dog was the first dog allowed at Corcoran. He was in my contract when I moved over from Brown Harris.
I love you so much. When you tell me stuff like that, it's just like, I always knew
his name was Major Commitment.
What was the name of the dog?
And the guys in the mailroom still miss him. He used to go and patrol the entire office. I had Pam Liebman call me once because the Realogy people had just bought and they were in her office. And Major had just walked in and jumped on the sofa. And Pam was like, could somebody call Leighton and tell her to get the dog? And much to her surprise, the guy said, this is so funny. You have one dog in the office. It wanders around. I was like, it's Major.
I love that.
Yeah.
About that story. What's the first restaurant you're hitting when you hit back to the city?
Oh, tough.
I know.
It's going to be Bella Blue, Donahue's.
Definitely. Definitely.
Coloache.
Yeah.
You're an Upper East Side girl.
Like the big ones, the Nobus and this and that, but it's the neighborhood ones that I miss the most because we're treated like family. They are our family.
I forgot about Coloache.
So
yeah.
Well, our Tequila Tuesdays usually happened there.
At Coloache.
You have to come to one.
See, now you're going to be invited.
Just call.
Where do you live in New York?
79th and 1st. I could crawl there. And I have
You
no
can crawl
problem
home.
crawling home.
You can call home.
Are you kidding me? I used to live around the corner from it.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. Coloache was especially in the summer. I would just work.
You know, I just love all these people that are so wonderful with the children. because I mean, what Marcello at
Yeah,
Bella
Bella
Blue
Blue. Yeah.
knows. I mean, and what's the lovely guy who owns Totolachi?
Oh, Dan is the manager. Dan's the manager.
Dan.
Yeah. We have
And I
a
mean, they
birthday
see
party there every year, and we had to skip it. I'm like, don't worry. When we're back and you reopen, I will have her birthday party in July if I have to.
Oh,
We are
that's
having
great.
a party there for her. We
That's
have to.
great. Yeah. Oh,
yeah, I mean, it's one of the nice things about, I mean, all the fancy restaurants, that's really fabulous. But my favorite part about being in a restaurant is the people I'm with, you know, and that the atmosphere is good, you know, obviously, or you don't want to be with people. So really, when I know that those people know Peyton and Riley, which are her children's names, when they know the girls' names, the whole team will go, you know.
That's
And
great.
we get there, they come back from school and we all meet and say hello, and then we meet there for dinner later. And you know, it's the local ones for us because we're all in sort of that same area. And
Sure.
that's what I miss the most is the places where the same waiters or managers have been there for 20 years, you know.
You know the people. I give $100 for a J.G. Mellon cheeseburger.
Oh gosh.
I gotcha.
Damn it, Lee.
Yeah.
Why did you say that?
Yeah, I know. I know. Which
Yeah.
then leads to the next question. Let's up the money. You can't donate this. $1,000. Do you take the $1,000 or do you get like a 1 hour manicure, 2 hour manicure pedicure?
Jennifer?
As much as I would love to get my hair done and get a manicure pedicure, I think I would rather use it to see my chiropractor. And
That's what I was
Oh, I got to revise.
I'm trying to exercise, and I'm like, ooh, this isn't feeling right now.
Yep.
So yeah, I take it for that.
All right.
That's so funny, Jennifer. It's I was going to say, okay, I know this isn't answering the question, but could we, manicure, pedicure would not be the first thing on my list.
No, clearly I need it, but.
Yeah, I know, so do I. It would be definitely chiropractor or my massage therapist chiropractor.
Definitely.
And then, you know, maybe some acupuncture and then, and the hair. I do that above the hands. I'll be just wear gloves.
Here we go. 2 last questions. Where's your happy place?
Right where I am.
Yeah, right now home.
Hopefully the happy place is wherever I am.
Exactly. And what's the first thing you want to do when the mask is gone?
Hug Jennifer.
That's for sure. Give
Talk about
Auntie
a team.
big hugs. The
Talk
girls
about
keep
a
talking
team.
about the Hamptons. They've talked about, we're at the beach and all they talk about is the Hamptons. Auntie Lele's beach house.
The only bad part of this is that they didn't come and sequester with me.
I know.
I would've
Muscles, Slam,
loved
the
that.
Hamptons.
Oh,
All right, now let's get to the business. Let's get to the boring stuff. What's going on?
nothing.
It's nothing. Anything
Nothing.
happening? Is there traffic, deals? What's happening?
I think a lot of what we know, well, I think there's a big uptick in people looking at real estate online and things because they have the time to do it.
You do.
I think pulling the deals through and we had deals in the pipeline, and so those slowed down, and bless Jennifer's heart, she's the one who always does that heavy end part with all the board packages. So you got such a nice email from that client of ours.
I did see.
I really love it. It's
see.
a client who said, I can't thank you enough for how hard you worked on a board package during this time and how hard it was. I mean, she didn't have
She's on the front lines of COVID.
And we have 2 medical people. They're both doctors. But I thought that was very sweet of her. But it's so nice when clients acknowledge. I mean, there was no reason for it to. And especially when they acknowledge Jennifer. I love that.
It's everything.
But I think it's pulling stuff through that's done and making sure that we're up and ready, just available to keep the eyes on the units. And it does make you look at them in a fresh way and revamp it. And, you know, we're doing some looking at what's real values for people who, you know, will pull the trigger when they need to pull the trigger. But there is anybody who says there's a rush to do, you know, anything, things need to be done in a timely fashion, but not that crazy pace, you know, oh my God, you've got to answer the phone now. I've got to have it this afternoon. I've got to, you know, most things can wait till tomorrow.
So you think coming out of this, there'll be traffic, but it's going to be measured.
Yeah, I do.
Definitely.
And
it'll be interesting to see. I don't know. I mean, people who've done projects before buy a project, and if they already know their contractor, which of course is Lee, you know how many times we refer you, but you know, that's going to be your best value because a lot of people are going to want brand new So, and, you know, Corcoran Sunshine is doing well with the condos that have, you know, the outdoor space, the penthouses, like the townhouse things we have at 20 East End Avenue, or brand new, never been lived in. That's going to be a big deal. And I do think there are things that need a ton of renovation that'll sell, but those prices are really going to get hurt, the purchase prices. You know,
and I hate to say it, and they probably should. You're asking people to make a level of commitment that was different 3 months ago, and 3 months ago was a different level of commitment, and something's got to give. Something's got to give.
People don't always acknowledge there's a risk factor in it. You know, the time is a risk factor. Right now, it's really holding you up getting projects done, you know, and you don't know quite when you can start. But, you know, that risk factor was being weighed more in a lot of markets. But I think after this, a complete fixer-upper is going to be tough.
Yeah. You really have to.
Owners may have to do it. Yeah.
And there's not going to be any urgency in doing it. You're not going to try to buy something to move in. No, you've got something you don't really care. It's going to be an overseas somebody. What do you think is going to be hot coming out of it? I agree with you. I think new development is going to be moving. Townhouses.
For sure. I mean, you know, we used to have so many townhouses. And then that was just such a beaten up segment of the market. It really was. And I do think that, and I love them so much, I think there's going to be a huge value to them. The separation of space, high ceilings. And I used to always say, how is it that people don't love townhouses? You have separation of space, wood burning fireplaces, high ceilings, pre-war details, and outdoor space. That's fantastic.
And all the social.
No doorman.
No doorman.
Yeah.
All the social.
I even think that the apartments that are in non-doorman buildings, which of course were just people, we want the amenities and the pools and the gyms and the things. It'll be interesting to see, but I imagine that there's going to be more people who will at least encompass the idea of non-doorman. And, you know, just for a while with all the new condos, which are fantastic. But I think that there'll be some people who say, you know what, let me reconsider. Maybe I would rather not have a huge building. I'd rather have a boutique building. You know, some won't, but I do think that everybody flooded into the huge buildings with everything. And I still think that's going to be fabulous. But I think there are people who might go back and rethink it, and just a different personality might say, you know, maybe a townhouse apartment. I live in a townhouse apartment. So.
I know you love all your clients, and I know you love all your sellers. Do you have a favorite listing?
Different favorites for different things, I have to say. We have such a diverse group of things right now.
You do.
We have you know, something that is phenomenal but needs a complete gut.
The Campanile.
The Campanile. Didn't you go with us to see it? The Campanile, with the river views, where Greta Garbo lived.
Oh, sure.
I mean, how can you not love it? But I mean, it needs everything. It's gonna be the most unbelievable value because it's an estate. They want it sold. So I mean, I love that river views, but we have a new one on that I love for exactly who it's right for, and I love the 20 East End Avenue because they're townhouses, but they have all the amenities and services if you want them, but they have their own door, and you're near Gracie Park. I mean, I don't know. I love a lot of them. Do you have a favorite, Jennifer?
I don't. Like you said, it's all different. They're all so different, neighborhood-wise and style-wise even. I don't have a favorite.
They're my favorite for different people. I will absolutely tell you that I have favorites for different buyers.
That's great.
You know,
I mean, looking at it.
Yeah.
You're not changing. Are you changing your business model while this is all going on? Or are you really just hitting the pause button and let's see where this all goes? Or is it a combo platter?
Yeah, maybe a combo, because we were saying earlier, really reaching out more with the social media in a little more, in a different way than we have before. I think that the virtual tour luckily has been perfected from the ones when it used to make you seasick. I mean, oh God, with those frog eye lenses, it used to be so difficult. Sure. I think that people are going to start doing that. And I think, that the digital part of marketing is going to be enormously important going forward, because honestly, if people got habituated to it now. And I think of Jennifer, we had someone who she just missed the second showing actually at that Campanile because she was in Florida and then she got sort of stuck there and couldn't come back. I think now people will understand they can really look at things digitally and be far closer to the commitment stage than they ever were before. Just like with meetings, you could have a meeting as effectively on Zoom as you can, in person. There's always going to be reasons you have to meet people in person. Of course, you're going to want to see a property, but
Sure.
I think digital is going to be much bigger.
And you know what? A handheld stabilizer and an iPhone is going to be a big, big deal coming out of this, even if you even need the handheld stabilizer.
Yeah.
I just needed to know what a handheld stabilizer was, but okay.
This little thing. Well, you know what I'll get for you after this is all over. I have an extra one here. I'm going to give it to you.
Is it like on a sailboat, how you have like with makes you stay steady?
Yeah, and it's like a Steadicam. It's fantastic. And you walk around, you hold it, and people go, "Wow, that's incredible. Who's your video person?" And you get to go, "You." And
Well, Lee, like everything else, please give it to me. Don't hand it to me.
I'll give it to you. All right, I'll drop it off at your house.
Please.
I was actually going to drop it off at your house. I was kidding. I was being nice.
Thanks, Jennifer.
What's the,
I know myself.
I could do this with you for 3 hours, especially, and we don't even have any tequila, but
next time.
What's the takeaway? What do you think? What do each of you think the takeaway is? What do you want your team, and what do you want people to know? And then I'll end with the last question is, what's the one thing that people don't know about you that you might want them to know? That's a lot.
Okay. Well, I'll answer the first one. I'll let Jennifer answer the second one. The takeaway, I really do think that something that, as I say, we've always loved is we laugh a lot and we stay really close. We keep a family, but I think that everyone's going to, taking themselves too seriously, that said, oh my God, what's going on right now is just my thing right in front of me is so important. And that sort of sometimes lacks the perspective that gives you humor. And I think that because this has gone on so long, really the stress of that is never good. And I think that a lot of other people aren't going to, hopefully, will come out of it realizing you really can't have the profligate waste of not only resources, but your own resources, your own time and your own emotion, who drains you, who doesn't drain you. I think that that's going to be big. And I think people being personal is, and which is why we're now saying, okay, social media really has a place with our platform for us now, is that people have always, I think, used us because there was a personal feeling about our enthusiasm for the property, that we'd be fun to work with, that we really get back to people and all this. I think it's going to be more important than ever. Just like people's houses will be more important now. It's, I was never good when someone just said, well, I don't care which one, just whichever one has the best price per square foot and gives me the best deal. I don't care. And that's not, my customer was always like, they wanted something special that was magic, that really grabbed their heart. I think there'll be more people in that category than there were before. And I think that brokers also are going to be more, personal and open, less of an assembly line, which is great for the industry, I think.
I think it's terrific.
And then Jennifer, she can do the what do people not know about you?
Yeah,
you could build a house.
I don't know. I think this social media, people are going to get an inside look at Leighton Candler for a change. I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. And I think, just with social media, and again, what we're doing our Takeover Tuesdays. I think they're going to see a real personal up close look at not just us, but our families, what we love, what we're doing. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun, I think.
It'll be great. It'll be great. And you know what, coming out of it, you'll balance it, and knowing how valuable the time is, it won't become the time suck that maybe it would have been 6 months ago.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think we can all hope for a lot of balance after this. Maybe we were way out of kilter in a universal way. And hopefully, as horrible as this is, it'll bring some good balance to everyone and a lot more appreciation of the joy that people can have in their lives. I really hope so.
And I hope it stays. That's the other thing. I hope
really
the elements stay, because that has been a tremendous positive takeaway from all of this.
No question.
And the two of you have been so generous to take this time, and
it was fun.
But you've been also generous to me for years, and working with you on projects.
You're the best. Likewise to you.
Yeah, we always have a good time, and this was no exception. So I'll see you in a little bit with tequila.
Okay.
I love that whole sentence.
Yes.
It's great to see your face, and I look forward to a real one.
I know. Hug soon.
I hope it's soon.
In the meantime,
I'm sending tons of love. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Bye, Lee.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Say hi to the landscaper.
I will.
Bye-bye.